What is going on, YouTube and weight loss warriors? It's your boy C-Dub, and I'm back with another video. And today I want to talk about the US and world report on the best diets of 2020. And this is going to be an amazing video because they ranked the best diets from 1 to 35. And some of these are going to be shocking and some of these are going to be surprising, and it's going to be fun. And there's so much to dive into because it makes me want to talk about diets. It makes me want to talk about all of that as well. So there's so much to get into, but before we do all that, I want to thank each and every one of you for clicking on today's video. I am CW, and I lost 125 pounds eating just one meal a day, or OMAD. So I'd like to welcome you to the channel. I hope that you subscribe because it's going to allow me to reach more people and help them out with tips, tricks, knowledge, and ideas that I've learned along the way. So I would appreciate it if you just clicked on that subscribe button. Now we put all that aside and we're going to talk about diets, and I am excited to do it. So let's hop into it. So first of all, I just want to talk about diet because diet is such a weird and interesting word, and it's taken on a new meaning from what it originally meant. And so I wanted to address a little bit of that. We all have a diet, right? A diet actually means what you're eating. So each one of us has our own diet. We have a particular group of foods that we like or enjoy, and or a typical group of foods that we do for health and fitness, and we stick to those foods generally. People don't expand too much outside of their realm. People don't try new things all the time and eat randomly at different times. You know, you kind of stick to what you do, and that's what diet was originally meant for. But since then, we've taken that term and we've turned it into an eating style that you use to lose weight. And this is where things get hairy and tricky, and where our world kind of is today. And there's so much misinformation and so much profit mongering out there, I have no better word for it, that we get tied up into so many different things, and we can't get information about anything on the health industry, right? And I think that now it's even worse than ever because we have this weird wonky time where 70% of adults, I'm going to repeat that again, 70% of adults over 30 years old are overweight or obese. That is a huge number. That is a huge, huge number. And then beat this, over 45 million Americans right now claim some form of diet that they're doing. And I don't mean that what they're eating is as their normal thing. I'm saying they're eating on a Weight Watchers or a Jenny Craig or a whatever the diet may be. So 45 million Americans right now, and we're still overweight and been more overweight than ever. So we're very conscious of the fact that we are overweight, and most of us want to lose weight, but yet nobody's doing it successfully. And there's this weird wonky time right now where people have been basically lied to since maybe the 70s and maybe before that about what diet they should do and what thing they should do. And they come and they go, and there's all these fads and trends where people are making money off of people. And so in a way, we've lost trust with the fitness industry. And so what comes out of it is this new form of nutritionist, this new form of hybrid person that's now behind the nutrition line that is afraid to say, hey, listen, this is what, we need to do. What they really want to do is they want to change, because so many people have failed for so long, to get you to feel better about yourself no matter what your health is and no matter what your size is. And so that's kind of the new nutritionist angle. It's this weird health at every size movement. It's this weird, everybody is worth loving, and everybody, like your physical body, is worth loving. And we get taken aside from everybody's beautiful, all of that stuff we've all heard, right? And we get put aside the fact that 70% of us are at a high risk for cancer, diabetes, heart disease, dementia. The list goes on and on and on. And the business side of the world doesn't care, because they're making money in hospitals and drugs and all of these things that they have to sell us to get us more healthier, to get us through a process. And all of that comes back to get us. So this is just something, obviously, that I'm passionate about. So the bottom line is this group of people, decided that they were going to rank these different diets and talk about it. So that's kind of where I want to go now. Now that I've put all of that madness out there about what a diet is, I want to basically tell you guys, what some of these diets are and kind of how they had them ranked in their ranking system. So let's hop into that part. They said they ranked them on efficiency, nutrition, ability to help against type 2 diabetes, and ability for weight loss. And that right there is going to be very interesting part of this to me, because I see some diets that actually do some effective things that they ranked really low, and other diets that I was kind of about got ranked a little higher. So it's a really strange situation, and I'm not going to rattle down all 35 of them because I think that would take forever. But let's just start first with the number one diet, the Mediterranean diet. Now, I want to say that this has ranked number one for 3 years in a row. They've done these articles. For 3 years in a row, they've ranked the Mediterranean number one. Now, is the Mediterranean diet legit? Well, of course it is. The Mediterranean people, fished and they ate fruits and berries and they had natural fats and they did all of those kind of things in their general lifestyle. So when they researched these people, they had less heart disease, they had less problems, they had less things. And so if you can go on the Mediterranean diet, the Mediterranean diet will improve your health. There's just no denying that. So I don't think that they're far from wrong on that one. I think that this is a situation where it's kind of common sense that they go this route. And nutritionists today that are willing to speak, they always say fruits and vegetables, healthy fats, you kind of get the gamut of things. And in this diet, you really get those type of things. So I don't think they're far off at all. So in the Mediterranean diet, they ranked it in 3 different categories for each one of these. And they gave it a 4.2 out of 5 overall, but a 3 out of 5 for weight loss, and a 4.8 out of 5 overall for its just general overall health. Number 2, the Dash diet. Now, if you don't know anything about the Dash diet is kind of what a lot of nutritionists jump on right now. They kind of make this I don't even know. It's gained a lot of popularity. It's done a lot of that stuff. And let's get into the scores. So overall, they gave it a 4.1 out of 5, a 3.1 out of 5 on weight loss, and a 4.8 out of 5 on health. So both of these two things, I think it's very interesting that they rank number one, but neither one of them scored really high in the weight loss side of things, but they did score high in the health side of things. And on this channel, I do talk a lot about health, but is the Dash diet really healthy? The issue that I have with the Dash diet comes in the fact that they do talk about the fruits and the vegetables and all of that, but they want you to eliminate all fat. And it's a very, very low fat diet. And we've been there and done that. So it's a fancy way, the Dash diet, of labeling what was the 90s weight loss plan of cutting out fat. And when you cut out fat, you cut out a lot of things that help good on your body. And it helps you when you can keep your fat content up a little bit to be able to, have some metabolic flexibility, which the Dash diet to me does not take into consideration, because you do want to be able to burn ketones for energy. And if you're always eating carbohydrates, you can never be able to switch back and forth between the two of them very easily. So you never tap into your body fat quite the way that I think you optimally should. And that's why the Dash diet ranked at 2 for me is way higher than I would have put it. It would have been way down on the list. But, again, I didn't write the article. Number 3 diet on this list I'd never even heard of, and it's the Flexitarian diet. So what is that? And it seems to me like this is a modified version of a plant-based diet, and they want very high protein from plants and not from animals. And the scores are, overall, they gave it a 4.1 out of 5, a 3.4 out of 5 in weight loss, and a 4.7 out of 5 in health. So they gave it pretty high scores. And again, I think anytime you go to a plant-based diet, you're going to increase a lot of your heart health and a lot of your good stuff. There is some question on plant-based on whether or not you're, getting the proper amount of protein, but I think veterans of the plant-based diet are able to get that done pretty easily. So that's what they had ranked as the number 3 diet. Number 4, they had ranked the Weight Watchers diet. Now, we all know what the Weight Watchers diet is. It's obviously very hyped up. It's very promoted. I've never done the Weight Watchers diet, but what the Weight Watchers diet does is it basically gives you points for food, which keeps your calories in check. And then the part that I like about the Weight Watchers diet is they keep a community of people. You meet at the same time and you weigh yourself in front of different people that you kind of have a meeting with, and you talk with people and you get to know people that are also on a weight loss journey that can support you, which is the number one reason why I think YouTube and other weight loss type communities like Facebook communities and different things like that are so powerful, because they do give you a network of people to communicate with. What's good about the Weight Watchers diet is They give you the flexibility to, enjoy the food you want as long as you can keep it within your point value. But there is some marketing ploy there, and I don't exactly know if it's the perfect diet, but I do think it can be successful. Now let's talk about their scores. They gave it a 3.9 out of 5 as far as its overall score. They gave it a 3.6 out of 5 on its weight loss score, which is the highest we've seen so far. And they gave it a 4.5 out of 5 for the health. And I think the reason why they probably scored a little lower on their health is, although you're keeping the calories down, you can have pizza and you can have things like that. And so nutritionists want to shy away from those kind of things. So that's probably why it got a little bit reduced on its score there. And now let's round out the top 5. So the Mayo Clinic diet, I don't know much about it, but it came in at rounding out the top 5. And so with the Mayo Clinic diet, looking at the research that I did, it has a unique food pyramid. That's again going to be, fruits, vegetables, and grains is where it's going to, make its emphasis on. They say that you can lose, 6 to 12 pounds in the first 2 weeks or something like that. I don't know about any of that stuff. I don't know enough about this diet to really be able to give you, I think this or that about it, but we will hop into the scores. At a 3.8 out of 5 for its overall, 3.2 out of 5 for its weight loss, 4.4 out of 5 for its health. So that's rounding out the top 5. Now, what's going to be interesting is out of the top 5, I don't know that any of them are outstanding or wonderful, or any diet in general really is. You guys know that 98% of the diets do fail. So, we're talking about all of them in that situation. Now, as I'm going to scroll down the list a little bit and talk about a few of the diets that are more popular and where they ranked, so we kind of get an idea of that. Maybe talk about a few other diets in their scores. The number 9 diet is the vegetarian diet. So I thought that was interesting because I know a lot of people do it. It's a popular diet. It may not be as popular as the vegan diet, but it is, a diet that a lot of people do. So let's talk about those vegetarian scores. They gave it a 3.6 out of 5 in overall, 3.1 out of 5 in weight loss, and a 4.1 in health. So there's where the vegetarian scores. Coming in a few after that at number 12 is Jenny Craig. And we all know that Jenny Craig is the kind of, one of the more popular diets out there. So let's talk about its scores. 3.5 out of 5, 3.4 out of 5 in weight loss, 3.9 out of 5 in health. All right, vegans, here we go. You're coming in at number 17 in this little review. Let's talk about your scores. 3.2 out of 5, 3.5 out of 5, 3.2 out of 5 in health. So overall, you can see that they're on the lower 3 is what they have you ranked. I know I have some passionate vegan viewers. They see you at 17, but it's going to get even crazier for some of my audience in a minute. 18 and 19 are interesting to me. I'm not really going to hop into their scores right now. It's the South Beach diet, which a lot of people have heard about. It was a very popular diet, so I just wanted to touch that. And then the next one, I never even heard about, the Biggest Loser diet. I can't believe that show actually came up with a diet. I don't even know what the Biggest Loser diet is or what it's all about, but I can't even believe that they would go through and make a Biggest Loser diet to sell you something. Nutrisystem diet, it comes in at number 20. Let's talk about their scores. 3 out of 5 for overall, 3.1 for weight loss, 3.3 for health. Here's one that I really, really don't understand. Coming in at number 24, Slim Fast. I don't even know how it made the list of the top 35, to be honest with you. It's a meal replacement diet that's been around since the 80s. But to me, it doesn't sound very healthy, especially when you look at the back of a Slim Fast and see how much sugar and stuff they put into those things. To me, it doesn't seem like it's an efficient way. But let's take a look at what they said the scores were. 2.9 out of 5 for its overall, 3.1 out of 5 for its weight loss, 3.1 out of 5 for its overall health. And I can't even imagine that their overall health score got so high, but whatever, I didn't do the article. 29th out of 35, the paleo diet. Let's talk about those scores. 2.4 out of 5 for its overall, 2.6 out of 5 for its weight loss, and 2.6 out of 5 for its overall health. That's a really low score. Now, I don't know too much about paleo, although it makes sense to me that if we eat what we used to eat back in the day, we're going to have a better and more healthy future, considering that today we have so much processed stuff and so forth and so on. So I don't know too much. Maybe some of my paleo viewers can drop some thoughts down below as to what they're missing on that. But I think that's a really low score for the paleo diet. Here we go, the 90s, baby. Coming in at 32 is the Atkins diet. You know, the Atkins diet, kind of the father of the keto diet. I know the keto diet goes way back, and I get all of that. I'm saying that the Atkins diet kind of paved the way for now what is the keto diet, although they're not the same diet, and that is confused often. But the Atkins, shout out to the 90s, comes in at 32. Let's talk about its scores. 2.2 in overall for the Atkins diet. 3 out of 5 for the weight loss, and 2 out of 5 for the health. So they basically just said the Atkins diet, don't do it. Here's where things get controversial. I am so excited because you must be thinking, keto. My keto people have had to have been watching this whole entire video screaming at the screen, keto, where's it ranked? It should be number 1, it should be number 2, it should be number 3. Why are they not mentioning keto? Well, out of 35 diets, keto comes in at 34. They almost bottomed out the keto diet as the worst diet you can possibly do in their list. Now that is mind-blowing to me. Now, I want to talk about it a little bit more in depth because there are some good points about it, and then we're going to, break out some of the crazy stuff. But, what they want to say, the reason why they want to say that you should not do it, one of them is going to be sustainability, and I absolutely agree with that point. I think the keto for the long term is very wonky for me, and for a lot of people that get into it, it's not right. But those people that enjoy those foods the most anyways, the keto diet can be a no-brainer. And the health, they put in the conversations that one of the things they were scoring was how good it reverses diabetes and obesity, and keto does that, and it definitely does it for diabetes. It may do it better than any diet on this list, and they didn't take that, into leveling it up a few notches, which is really confusing to me. But let's talk about those scores. 2 out of 5 in overall, 3 out of 5 in weight loss, and 1.8 in health. They said this diet is not healthy, it's not sustainable, and one of the quotes in there that I thought was kind of interesting, where they said the enthusiasm outdoes the science. And they said, that there's a lot of hype, but there's no science to back it up. And I know all over the internet today, people are losing weight with the keto diet. You don't have to go looking very far to find somebody that's having a lot of success. And I would argue that if we scroll through Facebooks and Instagrams and social medias and Twitters, and we started looking at people losing weight with keto and before and afters and all that stuff, and we compared it to some of the diets they had ranked 1 or 2, like maybe the Dash diet, I bet there's a lot more people losing weight on keto than there are on Dash. That does not mean that everything is equal, and that's kind of the other point that I wanted to talk about in this video, is that what diet you're on doesn't matter. What needs to happen is a lifestyle. You need to be able to do something you can continue to do. And that's why I never really limited any foods in my quest to lose the 125 pounds that I did. And I've kind of been open-minded. That does not mean that any one of these diets could be the diet that works for you and gets you into better health. And one other thing that this article doesn't take into consideration too is when you're talking about health and well-being of somebody that's morbidly obese or somebody that is obese, whatever they need to do to get themselves out of that range is going to be healthy. And if you think that, to me, one is better than the other, it's going to be optimal to the person that's on the other side of the camera and what they choose to do and what they need to do to get themselves in a healthier and better state. So that's kind of the way that I look at all of that stuff. But I do think it's interesting to look at some of that. Now, I know a lot of people watching this were wondering, well, where does intermittent fasting rank? Where does, there's all these different fasting protocols and there's all this different stuff, and that they didn't even put it in there as a diet. Well, this particular article was talking about the intake of what food you eat. And so intermittent fasting, you can do it with anything. So it's not a diet, it is a lifestyle. And this article actually proves that. You know, they don't mention it, but just the fact that it's not even mentioned shows you that this isn't a diet. This isn't a style of food you're selecting to do. What this is intermittent fasting is something that can help change your life. So I think the beautiful thing about that, and the beautiful thing about whether you're a 16 and 8, a warrior diet, you know, or OMAD like me, or anything in between, you know, you want to make it a 19 and 5 or whatever you want to call it, right? Whatever your specific time restricted eating pattern is, the beautiful thing is you can compare it with any one of those things and have success, both because the diet's going to be successful and the intermittent fasting is going to be successful. So it's a great, you know, marriage of the two of them, but keep in mind that you're going to need to do it moving forward from this point on. Ultimately, now let me give you my thoughts on this whole thing. And I also want to mention that if you want to scroll the list yourself and read in-depth details of why they did what they did, I will have it linked down below. Just check it out, click on it. I will make it the very, very top thing underneath my description so that you can easily find it and you can check this out on your own. But my thoughts about it is really this simple, that people are scared to say things outside of the norm. Everybody has been on board with the Mediterranean diet forever, and all of the nutritionists sell the Dash diet. So it's no doubt that those two diets are going to get 1 and 2. And Weight Watchers also is so popular that people don't want to disrespect Weight Watchers because so many people out there do it. And if you're a Weight Watchers lover and you're reading this article, if it's not in the top 5, that's an issue too. So they kind of took the easy way out and they just said that this was, you know, hey, look, these are the top 5. You know, on what basis in the real world do they have? It's just someone's opinion. You know, if I ranked them, I would rank them totally different than that and have just as much validity as that one does, which is none. So I want you to understand that. I want you to understand that that article and whoever wrote it has no more knowledge or interest in what is going to work for you than I do. All we can do is kind of say, hey, listen, this is what happened when I did this, and these are the results. You take a look at it yourself and figure out what's going to happen for you. And that is the most important thing. But I find it highly entertaining to read over that. I think you will too. And ultimately, at the end of the day, give me more information like that, world. You know, the more things I can run into that make me smile when I read them just because of how absurd it is. Keto is ranked 34th on that list. And it might be today's most popular diet. And again, that doesn't mean that I'm a keto person, because I'm not. I don't do keto. But I do think it has a lot more validity than 34th. And the fact that they said, you know, that they're basing it on stopping diabetes because so many Americans have diabetes, yet the diet that is made to stop diabetes, bottom of the list. Anyways, guys, I thought that was hilarious. If you're interested in trying OMAD, I got 50 benefits of it right there. And YouTube thinks you're going to love that one. You can pick either one of those videos. It would mean a lot to me, but my face, it's right there. Click on that and subscribe, please. I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Peace.